Poppers. This is your RJ of Black Belt Bots. Hope that you are having an excellent day. And you may notice a little different angle on the background. Let me just tell you why. There is a giant, sexy walking boot on my foot right now. I did not do anything to myself that was crazy. I was simply walking in the grocery store. I was not popping a wheelie on the cart. I was not riding downhill in the cart. I was not doing anything but shopping for some nice frozen pizza. And twinge in my foot. I waited a while to go visit the doctor, and now I've got a boot. So you know what? It is the most awesome walking cast ever. And you may see a different angle on the background for a little while. We'll see. We'll see how it all works out. Hope you guys are doing great out there and having a great day. Today we're going to talk about something very pivotal and important. Today we're going to talk, of course, about chatbots, but we're going to talk about really specifically a type of broadcast that you can send out that engages people with your content, that engages people with who you are and what you do and how you might be able to help them. You know, for me, and I kind of wrote this in the announcement, chatbots are all about being able to have that conversation one-on-one with people. They're all about taking, you know, something that's happening on a certain platform and then moving it offline into a face-to-face conversation. Sometimes that face-to-face for me is video because people are scattered all over everywhere. But being able to create conversations, build solid relationships, and see if some business can be done from there. So I talk a lot about how to get people into this, you know, how to grow your subscribership. And I know that if you're new to bots, that is really a huge primary concern, isn't it? Making sure that people are in there. But these Thursday shows are all about what do you do once they're in? You know, if you were holding a party, you've gotten somebody in the front door, how are you going to entertain them now? How are you going to keep top of mind now? And so today's show is centered around a specific type of broadcasts. Stephen Healy is here. Now it's a party. Hello, Stephen. Glad to see you, my friend. That's awesome stuff. So talking about those broadcasts, talking about timely announcements. Now, what do I mean by timely? Timely is, of course, about like in reaction to a specific thing that happens, or in reaction to the time that it is. My first client that used this, Stacy Spenceley, semi-crunchy mama bot. For you mamas out there, go check out her bot. It is fantastic. Stacy, after she got everyone into and subscribing to her bot using a Facebook challenge, she got a lot of people in her group in there participating in the challenge. And then it was like, well, what do I do next? She started giving us, and I know because I'm subscribed, I'm not a mother, but I'm subscribed because, you know, she's a client. So we started getting little timely announcements. For instance, it was a very, very short announcement, but she kind of talked a little bit the day after Halloween about how to cull some of that massive sugar overload that just came into your house. Stacy's, you know, coaches on, some health issues and health and wellness issues with moms and stuff. And so she made an announcement that is right exactly where her bot subscribers are at, looking around the house going, what am I going to do with all this? And so she gets really good engagements usually on her broadcast, specifically because she is making, you know, timely announcements. She made some announcements right before the holidays as well, because holidays are super stressful for everybody, but especially moms out there. And it's really hard to keep your cool nutrition-wise sometimes. And so she had some announcements that surrounded that. She did some broadcasts in her subscriber bot, or for the subscribers in her bot. She created some conversations. Those conversations lead to solid relationships. Those relationships lead to business, referrals, collaborations, all kind of stuff. So that's one way that people are using these. Hey, Kim, glad to see you as always. Thank you for tuning in today. Very good. So that's one way to do timely announcements based on the time, current things that are happening. Now, could be a calendar thing that is happening. Could also be breaking news type stuff that is happening, which kind of takes me to my second type of timely announcement. And if you guys have questions about using broadcasts in your bot, do type them in, because I'm here to answer those, honestly. Here to answer those, here to talk about everything. And if either of you guys want a guest, then I would absolutely love to have you. Let's see here. Gosh, I haven't played with this in a while, so I'm just going to copy the link, and then let's see. I'll figure that out later. So sorry. I'm a dork sometimes. I think, I don't have a Black Belt Bots open at this moment because I don't want to, do that thing where you're hearing yourself. Anyway, if you have any questions about timely announcements, put them below. Second type of timely announcement that you can do is stuff that's based on news. So the first time was kind of a calendar thing and being, right where your clients are. Oh, great. This just happened on the calendar. Now what? Type moments. Second type is reacting to news and events. So maybe Zuckerberg planned this. I'm not sure, but he made some announcements this morning. Now, the announcements that he made about changes to Facebook have nothing to do with messenger bots, but I do still kind of like to keep clients in the loop of what's happening on Facebook, specifically because there are some broadcasters out there who aren't so responsible and like to, make it into Facebook's changing things. You better get into my group or else type stuff. Get into my big group or else, that stuff. None of the folks that I do business with do that. They have groups too. It's just fear mongering. I'm so against fear mongering. Kim says, LOL. I do recommend her group. I'm in it, and it's a fabulous group to be in. Learning all about social media and doing it in a manner that is not overwhelming. Great stuff. Cup of content, people. Look it up. Anyway, but yeah. I like to get on and just let people know in plain English, this is what this announcement says. The announcement that they made this morning was all about groups. You're no longer able to use third-party automated apps to publish posts in groups. That is, the sudden API change is kind of a big deal, though. Oh, I know, my friend. Listen, I'm just going to messenger you. If you want to come on, you can. I'm just going to flip you the link, and I'm going to flip Steven a link, too, in case he wants to come on and kind of talk about that stuff. But that's definitely something that is again, it's such a timely reaction. It's okay. Does my audience need to know about this? What do they need to know about this? Can I put out something short and sweet that will sum everything up and then link to the actual announcement, of the post? That to me is the best way to do things, not to rile people's emotions up or anything, but just keeping them in the loop. I try to keep them in the larger social media loop of at least Facebook. Twitter, I don't care about. You can find me on Twitter, but don't try to talk to me there. I'm a busy girl. Hello, Jen Belts. Oh, it's so good to see you, my friend. Fantastic. So that's the second time, the type of timely announcement is when something news is breaking out there, and you want to get it to your people. Now, I know that Jen Belt has a lot of experience with this as well. Jen works with a a company that does direct sales type marketing, and the folks change the rules a lot. They want to respond to what's happening out there. They want to be sensitive and respectful of people's privacy. They change the rules a bit. And so Jen needs to let the members of her group know a lot. And often will change her bot to reflect that, because you can totally put it in your Facebook group. But if people have their notifications shut off for any reason, you are not going to be able to see if people got the message or not. And that's problematic when you're really trying to get information to people, especially if you're working with people in a group. It's huge. You absolutely want to get them to, and you want to know that they've read it. You won't have read it. You want to know that they've read that information. So that's another huge reason to use that. I am going to bring Kim up, and I'm also going to flip Jen Belt the link if she wants to come on, because she's just one of my favorite people. I almost just flipped the link to her page. Okay, here it is. Fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to bring my friend Kim Boltzma on. She's amazing. Okay, she's social media, fantastic girl. All right, darling, how are you?
That was super fancy. It gave me like a countdown timer and everything.
I know, right?
Go Be Live.
Go Be Live. They've really made some impressive stuff, I think. They really have. How are you, my friend? Have you been consoling people all morning, or
a little bit? But I don't know. The thing I keep having to remind people about is we're playing in someone else's sandbox, and things like that are going to happen. I totally get why Facebook is making all these changes. I think the abruptness and like, oh, by the way, we shut off our API yesterday. Maybe a little warning would be nice, but I get what's going on. But
well, I mean, the main thing that I picked up yesterday was they finally set a date for Zucky to appear before Congress.
Yeah.
And it's April 10th and 11th, less than a week away. If you were sitting in front of Congress, wouldn't you too want to say, yeah, we are totally doing some stuff about that?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. And if, they sacrificed the warning to the developers this time. That kind of sucks, but I understand. I get it.
Right.
This is not some huge company making moves that we don't understand. This is people that are pivoting, changing how they deliver stuff.
Right.
And I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan.
Right. Yeah. And I think the biggest thing that I've noticed too, I'm got to shut off my watch notifications so I don't get distracted. But the biggest thing I did notice that I think some people just need to make sure that they check, especially if they're on WordPress, is for their website to make sure that any of their social plugins are still working. It depends on how the API of that social plugin is set up. Like with mine, I literally have to log into my Instagram account in order to show my Instagram feed on my website. And that kind of stuff seems to not be affected by the API change, but people who I was talking to somebody this morning and he was like, well, I actually use a robot that I created to pull in anybody's feed, and that is not working. He has to reconfigure that. So, it's things that you're not logged in to do. That's kind of what they've really cracked down on.
Well, and I do see a pattern here. And the pattern is don't use Facebook or don't, social media in general to automatedly create posts, automatically repeat the same thing at the same time.
Right.
Changes a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, with Twitter, because Twitter just, they're cracking down on duplicate posts. There's a lot of people out there that will sit and write a post and they'll post the same thing to like 5 different accounts.
Oh, yeah.
And they're cracking down on that stuff. So I'm kind of glad about that, though.
So
Come on.
I know this is off subject a little bit, but talk to me about why you're glad about that.
Because be original. And I know that it's probably a lot of people who are hiring other people to do their work. And they're like, well, I've got these 4 clients that are all pretty much doing the same thing in different parts of the country. I mean, I understand that part. It's easier for them. less time, more money, but at the same time, that's what I think is inherently wrong with a lot of social media, is that it's not original. It's just like, oh, I'm going to share somebody else's post and not even make a comment about it. So
great. Jen Belt is here now. We may be more complete at this time. Hello, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. I've been working on artwork and other stuff today, so that feels good.
Yeah, show me your hands.
Yeah. I just scrubbed them. They're clean. I did. They were covered in light pink plaster for a customer in Florida.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
So what are we chatting about today?
So we're chatting about, and Kim is my social media go-to for all things. We were just talking about some of the changes in Facebook, but overall we're kind of talking about using that broadcast feature to engage your people. And I was talking about you, Jen, because you have a group of people that you are working with. You're on a team, and you need to communicate lots of changes sometimes, and you need to do it.
Yes.
You need to know that they've seen that information.
Yes.
Can't do that in a group.
Right.
So
no, well, you can post it in the group, but that doesn't mean everybody has seen it. But yeah, I love the broadcast feature of the many chats with the messenger bot for that reason. When they need news fast, I can see who's gotten it, who has, clicked on it, who's engaged with it. And that messenger, that broadcast in Messenger is a really great feature to start a conversation with somebody, because a lot of times they'll be like, have been meaning to ask me a question or need clarification on something. And by me hitting their inbox, they are triggered to do so, which then starts a conversation with me, helping them and doing whatever. And I might not have heard from them for a while. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so many changes in Facebook with how groups work and how things show up in their news feed in terms of being in that group. If they aren't active a lot in it, then they won't see posts in that group scrolling through their news feed. For instance, I belong to a Stephen King fan page, and I love that fan page. And it just dawned on me the other day that I have not seen any discussion posts come through my news feed. And I popped in there, and there was like 2 months of posts that I had not seen. But that's because I had been previously just scrolling and hadn't been active myself prior to that. So if people aren't actively engaged in the group, the group content is not showing up in their news feed because Facebook believes that they're not interested anymore.
Right.
And
so that the part that really intrigues me, Jen, and especially about how you're using your bot, because I'm in there checking it out, making sure everything's going well. You do create a lot of conversations on there that would normally be created. Not only can you do things, of course, with Messenger that you can't do anywhere else. You're building further relationships with people, not just everybody who's doing well, but you're involved.
Right.
You're involved with everybody.
Yes. And I love that about the Messenger bot, because I have over 100 teammates in that group page, and about 40 of them are actively enrolling, and about 20 of them reach out to me on their own. And the other 40 will reach out to me in the Messenger bot. Like, they are literally going to the Jen Belt bot and messaging me there, as opposed to in my personal inbox, because I'm friends with everybody. As soon as somebody is in my team, I friend them immediately, number one, so that they see the posts that are showing up. But the people that I know personally are messaging me via my regular Messenger. And the people that I know only through my team that are enrolling casually, they reach out to me in that Messenger bot. So it really does foster conversations, because they have subscribed and they get blasts and broadcasts and information, and they click on trainings. And then when they do have a question, they go there to talk to me. So
that's nice.
Which I love.
does it make a difference to you to have people reaching out there rather than reaching out, through personal messenger? Like, do you get people who would rather just hit up the page rather than thinking, oh, I must be bothering her at dinner? Do you know? Like,
right.
I don't know what their preference is. I know that it's probably based on when they click on their messenger to find me, which one shows up first.
Yeah.
That's probably how that works. Personally, I would prefer if they would message me personally, only because that stupid red dot notification goes through the page. It comes through the messenger bot. It comes through the messenger of the page. Like, there's 3 things I got to clear before the red dot goes away. So,
yeah, right.
But right. But that's the only downside of them reaching out to me in the messenger bot. But I still answer them there. I don't flip back over to anywhere else because I want them to always feel like that's the place where they can go. If that's where they're comfortable going, then let it be there. So, and that's what messenger bot is for, is to create and foster conversations and relationships. So it only makes sense that I would answer them there. That's the whole purpose of a messenger bot, is to actually be having a conversation.
Well, and I'm continually gratified by kind of looking at, folks that are being involved in that, and looking at people, like, seriously, in your group, other people will say, it's not just you pointing them to the messenger bot, it's other people saying, you have to be here, get here,
right.
Link, you know what I mean? So it's not just like you forcing it and requiring it, it's other people going, please, this is awesome, you must be on.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I just love you, Jen Belt. I love you too, Kimball.
I just love you too, RJ. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. I wouldn't be here if I hadn't seen your messenger bot information and gone, this would be such an easy way to repeatedly train people as this grows. And I think when we built it, I had like 40 people that I was trying to get to start it. And then it went to 100, and I was like, oh my God, thank God I am not having to repeatedly remind people and repost a training and repost information. Like, it's all saved. It's in a file. Click here, subscribe, choose your own adventure. What do you need to learn? Learn how to enroll people, learn how to do this, learn how to do that. It's a brilliant system for people in direct sales. I mean, I'm an artist and I can't wait to figure out what you have in store for, like, explaining to me how to talk to my customers for my new website with it. I'm just so blown away by the direct sales aspect of it, not for customers, but for team building and team training and keeping everybody on the same page and keeping them all informed of the overview that's coming up in 2 days, and have you invited your potentials, and like, it just goes, and I know who has seen it. And if I haven't heard from somebody in a while, I can click on that bot and go, oh yeah, they have, that little bubble hasn't dropped down. They haven't seen anything I have sent. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just nice to know. It just is.
And as a total side note, Jen Belt, I just recently built a product-based bot for someone, and someone close to you, actually, Barn Rat Studios, and you're going to have a great time with your art. Skeleton's already there, baby. It's going to be awesome. Okay.
I can't wait.
Okay, moving on. We can't live Kim out. So, Miss Kim, I know that you have been, we've been working on your bot for a little while. Would you consider putting out an announcement about new software, new Facebook changes, would you consider doing that in your bot?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. We need to get it there, RJ.
3:00 this afternoon, darling. We'll make some stuff. So cool. I myself, I have 2 announcements that come out per week to people that are subscribed to these lives. So people that are subscribed get a little ping about 15 minutes before saying, hey, I'm going to go on. And that is helpful. So I already have those 2. That's going out to That's going out to about 15%. I'm not really a math person, so don't trust that figure. But it's going out to a certain percentage of folks. But I want to engage everybody. So putting an extra post in there, just I'm considering doing This Week I Learned.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, on Fridays, Friday morning, just a little ping. This week I
fun facts.
Yeah, fun facts. Hey, here's some stuff. And if you want to discuss any of this, hit the button below. Because as you know, it's all about that conversation starting. Conversation starting. We're going to be doing quite a few shows on this here in the future about, how to start those conversations and how to really leverage that into, something that's more of a face-to-face. So Jen, when you've used timely announcements to create conversations with people, have you ever taken that conversation out of Facebook Messenger? Have you ever then ended up having a coffee with them or a Zoom with them, or have you ever taken that step to take it out of Messenger?
Yes. Usually what ends up happening is I'll post something, a broadcast or whatever, or somebody will have a conversation and reach out to me with a question. And what that ends up doing, usually what happens is, as long as are two people that will message me the same question, then I realize that there is something that needs to be made, that if there's two, there's 15 to 20 that have the same question. And so rather than answer 15 to 20 people individually, after I get 2 or 3, then I immediately will create a broadcast with a quick little training, or I will hop in live into the team page and do a live. And that way they can see the replay at their, like today was a perfect example. Yesterday, I had 3 or 4 people asking me about the same question and how do you respond to this, and screenshotting me a message and how do you overcome this objection type thing. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to go live and do a training about this in the morning, what I say. Now, I had already posted the exact what I say 3 different times in a post in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
But that doesn't, obviously, they haven't read it. So I did a Facebook Live about it. And then what I need to do eventually is have it created as a little broadcast subscription that they can click on and look at in the Choose Your Own Adventure section of the files page.
Yeah, and video engagement is huge right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's what I should do. I should just take the live that I did and just put it right into a broadcast that they can watch anytime.
Oh, there you go.
Well, and that's what I'm thinking about with This Week I Learned, doing a broadcast and then do an announcement and say, hey, if you haven't seen this, here's the bullet points, here's the live, and here's the opportunity to ask me a question if you want.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
I think it makes a huge difference. People always say in their groups and in their lives and everywhere they go, if you've got any questions, ask me. If you've got any questions, ask me. But I know that most people won't ask, even with a repeated invitation. They don't want to ask in a public place. They don't want to admit they don't know. I work with a lot of, just a ton of small business owners, my happy tribe, my grasshoppers, and a lot of times people they will do anything but admit that they don't know. And so when you give them a repeated opportunity to ask you in a private venue, things go a lot differently, don't they?
Yes, completely. Completely, yes.
Okay. Sure. That was the stunning statement of this half hour. No, I'm just kidding. One of you obviously made this stunning statement of this half hour. What am I talking about? But yeah, no, it's doing that. I love the idea of just including the link to the live stream because your trainings, I know that they're all accessible, or soon will be all accessible inside your bot. But you also double duty and put it all in your group too. So what you're doing when you say, here are the bullet points, here's a summation, you watch the full stuff here, You're driving people back into your group.
Right.
You can watch that live stream and access the files and do the things. So you're just really, I mean, you're putting the information right in the way.
Yes.
That's what I love about
it. Yeah, and it gives everybody learns differently. Some people just want the highlights and they just want the bullet points. Some people want to read everything step by step spelled out for them, and some people want to turn on a video while they're washing the dishes because they're multitasking a million things at once and they want to learn while they're listening. So giving them all of the options, like, the only frustration comes in when somebody messages me out of the blue and they haven't looked for something anywhere. And I'm like, this is all in the group, or it's in your website's back office. But I've pulled a bunch of stuff that you're asking about from the back office to the group. I've created a live and there's a file. Like, that's the only frustrating thing is sometimes I get frustrated, but it's happening less and less, because I'm reiterating and I'm trying to train my key people to train their key people to use the group for their information. Like, if we all repeatedly train everybody the same, then eventually we can just be fostering the new people that need help with confidence and not have to answer the questions that the answers are readily available in the group already, or in the bot, or on your website. So you're just giving them lots of information from everywhere. They eventually all come back to the messenger bot to, like, stay in touch.
Yeah.
You know, and something what I like about RJ's broadcast before her lives is the fact that it's like watch it live or catch the replay. Mm-hmm. That I think is huge, because I always know that, okay, I can go into my messenger and find that and watch it. I think that's huge too. And
you know what? I've said this before. When I set that up, the links go to the exact same space.
Right.
But when people are looking at that and they
it's the choose your own adventure. Right.
They say to themselves, I don't have time, but I like to watch the replay. The button that says watch replay. That's all
same. It's all psychological. You're giving them choices that they already have, but it appears that you're giving it to them. Yeah.
And we are in that society where we do have to make things super easy.
Yes. And I love providing a choice. I just love providing a choice and the opportunity to really get inside and think about what my people are thinking about. Now, I didn't call them clients. I didn't call them customers. Not everybody in my bot, in fact, most people have not paid me money. And I am cool with that. They're a community. They're my tribe. And I think of conversing with them as such. Not, Kim, you went to social media marketing world. What was that? Probably a lot of really great quotes, but it was the one about closing a sale. What was that one that you learned?
Oh, what was it?
Are you opening a conversation or closing a sale when you?
Yeah, right. Yeah. And
relationship marketing. That's everything right now.
Empathy building.
It's the way to go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and it's what Facebook is directing you to. I mean, overall patterns of what's happening with them. They are cracking down on spam. They're cracking down on, stuff that's just in a billion places. And I'm guilty of that too. When I first started live streaming, I streamed out to every single page on Facebook that I owned. And I mean, I have done it, my friends, but I learned that when you are talking to people and not at people, that message needs to be personalized. We all talk about this. Social media marketing and messenger marketing and all those things. It's all about building relationships. And then we spend our time crafting an impersonal message that'll go out to thousands.
Exactly. Right. Old habits die hard, I guess. I don't know. It's so hard Facebook has always, Facebook started out as being our friends and family connecting with our friends and family. And then it became this like I can just remember like in my mind talking with Laura Childs at the time when Facebook was just coming out and both of us running businesses and going, this could be like really, this is going to be interesting. This could be a really great tool. And so then it went from just connecting with friends and family to figuring out how it can be used for business. And then Facebook saw how it could be used for business. And then pages became, and like you could just see the whole evolution of it. And now it's as if Facebook's going, wait. No. We need to go back to connecting with people.
Yeah.
And let's figure out how that works. And it's brilliant. And at the same time, I love it. Like my team hates it. They hate it. They hate it when I'm talking to them about, listen, you cannot use these words in your post that is promoting this because Facebook's just going to not show it to anybody. They know that you're selling something. But if you post something that you love and it's from your heart and you're not sharing it and you're creating that post that it's real and it's because you love it, that's what people are going to see. And that's what Facebook isn't going to allow to be seen. They're like, Facebook hates us. They should just stop that. And I'm like, no, isn't your news feed really wonderful right now? Because it's people posting things that they love and it's content that they made and it's, you know, it's real. I'm like, our news feeds are so beautiful right now because of this. You should love the algorithm.
My stuff is getting traction and I love it. Because that's what I've always taught people is like you can't be selling 24/7. You can. That's the beauty of the English language. And I'm an English degree, so I'm going to nerd out about this for a minute. But like we can sell by using empathy. Like like what Jen is saying. Like, you know, I love something so much that I'm going to tell other people about it and what it's done for me. And people buy results. They don't buy a system. They, you know, you do paintings, right, Jen?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, people, they're buying your art, but they're buying the result of how gorgeous that's going to look in their office or on their wall or wherever. And I think a lot of people forget that is we're selling results.
Yeah. Agree.
Okay, so I heard a statement this morning, and I want to see how each of you react to this statement.
I feel like this is a test.
I was just going to say it's a test. I'm ready.
These are all tests. You guys are doing
Let me wipe off all reactions so it's real.
So I was on Stephen Healy's show this morning. I always listen to him whenever he's on. And there was, Facebook, the show was about the changes in Facebook. And people were getting on and kind of, sounding off about what this meant to them or what their opinion of it was. And I heard something that I've heard a billion times, and it is just starting to irritate me just a tiny bit. Someone got on and talked about, hey, you're on Facebook's platform. You're not on your own. I totally agree with this. You are renting. We're all renting Facebook, darlings. It's not our home. Because we don't own it. And if we did, we would not be here. We would be off sailing anyway, back off of that dream for a second. But we don't own Facebook. We're renting it. But what he said was, you need to drive everybody back to your website. You need to drive everybody to your email list. You need to do, everybody needs to go back in time to when that's what we did. And so, I think I would love to get your perspectives on this. What do you guys think of that statement? I will say
go first
because she is my social media awesome person.
Okay. So I don't necessarily know if it's a good idea to, like, in a literal sense, go back to our email and our website because I know RJ and I have talked about this before. Email is not going anywhere. Everyone has an email address, and that can be one thing that's for certain. But I think we need to go back to or kind of make a 180 shift on how we approach people in our marketing. It's not, it's funny that Jen has been bringing up the the choose your own adventure, because I've talked about this a lot in a couple of my shows lately too. It's like, you know, we need to give people options, and we have to realize that people aren't each of our clients are not in the same place as we are or as each other. And so we've got to be kind of able to shift to multiple platforms, but we also have to do it with empathy. I'm big on this empathy thing. Like it's a core of building relationships with people. And, I've been doing a lot of thinking about this myself, because I'm trying to kind of niche down a little bit about what I do. But, I heard a really great metaphor for this yesterday or 2 days ago. But you think of fishermen, okay? When fishermen go out, when they cast a net, are they trying to catch all of the fish? Or are they throwing out a specific net and trying to catch certain kinds of fish?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so while we all might be able to help a lot of people, we can't market to all of them at one time.
Mm-mm.
So we have to think about how we're marketing. How are we throwing out our net to capture one segment of our target demographic?
That's great. That's really great.
Kim, your mic cut out for me. Totally. Can you hear?
Me too.
Yeah,
No.
you too. Drop and come back in, my friend. Hit refresh, because I want to hear the rest of this thought.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay, she'll come back. It's us for now.
Okay.
Here we go. Let's bring her back in and see if this works.
It's like the ultimate cliffhanger.
It was. Oh, she's still silent.
Oh.
Yep. Holding up a finger. Oh, it disappeared. She'll be back. It's fine. Live streaming is so beautiful, isn't it, Jen Bell?
It is.
Yes, it is. Would you, I'll give you the option, would you like to start, I've got Kim again. Let's see if this will work.
Yeah, I want to hear the rest of the fishing story analogy.
I do too.
Okay.
Yay!
Yay! Okay. Well, I switched microphones, so we'll give that a shot. All right. So at what point did you stop hearing me?
Right after you said that we were trying to focus on catching a certain part of our demographic that we're marketing to.
Oh, yeah. So, we're not out here throwing one giant net. I mean, a lot of us are. Let's be honest. I'm guilty of it too. I've got this giant net. I am out in the freaking ocean, and I'm throwing it out there, and I'm trying to catch whatever I can get, right? But my marketing efforts are not going to work when I continue to do that. I have to, all right, I'm going to go over to this river. I'm going to focus on salmon, and I'm going to get my net, and that's what I'm going to pull in. And so that helps me to figure out, okay, now I know that particular demographic. I'm going to start focusing on photographers, by the way. That's just I'm going to put that out there because I am a photographer and I know it really well. So, but I'm going to, so I'm going to go all the places where photographers are, and I'm already in those places on Facebook, Twitter. I'm going to work on it, Instagram, but okay. So what are the things that those people need, and how can I create the right net to throw out there in the right place to pull them in? And then once I've got that going, it's going to be a well-oiled machine, right? I've done all the work for it. Now I just got to create a new net for a different kind of fish and not really start all over, but replicate the process and start pulling that in. And I think that's what we got to think about is, we can't use one net to get everybody. We can't just use Facebook to get everybody. I mean, I know, I watch my analytics like a hawk right now, and I get a ton of people from Facebook. I still get a ton of people from email marketing, but Instagram and Pinterest of all places, Pinterest is so, but so I watch that. Okay. Now which of my target demographics are on those particular platforms so that I can throw my net out and get the right people at the right time. And you know what? Even if they're not going to join my membership, if they still follow me and like me and engage with me, that I'm totally happy with that, because perspective, even though numbers can't pay the rent, they're still kind of important. I hate saying
They
that,
are.
but it is so true.
Well, and that's part of building the relationship. It all starts with a follow. It all starts with a comment. It all starts with a heart.
Right.
Boop. That's where that's the beginning of it. So I totally agree with that philosophy.
Yeah.
But it's not all about the end all be all of them joining, a membership or joining your site or whatever it is, your membership site. It's all about starting the conversation.
Right.
And exposing them. So my opinion on going back to we all need to go back to the website and the email list. Part of me says that would be the safe thing to do, to still drive people back to your website and back to your email list. That's a safe thing to do, so that if for whatever reason, God forbid, and this could happen, that Facebook is no longer free and we suddenly have to pay for this platform of just being on it and being social. I personally would, of course, but there's a lot of people that wouldn't, and they could lose a lot of contacts and lose that contact information that you've had. So keeping track of that in some way, I think, is not a bad idea, but I don't think that that's the form of marketing that we all need to go back to, because that is not the future of it. I personally don't think that that is where I'm not there. I have several coaches that I know and love that send me information via email, and I am more inclined to read that same information if it shows up via a bot I subscribe to, not the email list I subscribe to. It just is. Like, for me, email is becoming like when customers get in touch with me about a commission, or my stores get in touch with me about a commission, or a bill needs paid that I've forgotten about, or I am being marketed to by the 50,000 stores that I shopped at online, and now I need to unsubscribe to all of them. Mm-hmm. So next year I will join with a new email. Again, how many emails do all of us have that any of us pay attention to? I will subscribe to all of those stores with a new email, a new Gmail, so that I don't have to pay attention to all of the spam when I don't have time to unsubscribe. So, I mean, email is never going to go away. We all need it, and I do. I mean, it's important for me to get the newsletter from my children's school and all of that stuff. But God, if they had a bot on the PTA group, I would love that. I need to tell them about that. An informational bot for the PTA. I might know somebody that could help them do that. Like, that would be fabulous.
For RJ to cast her
Right. Yes. PTAs, local PTA groups. Good Lord. It would be amazing. Yeah. So, yeah, I think, I'm not completely opposed to trying to drive people back to your site. For me, a website for me for artwork has just always been like the portfolio. Right. It's the relationship is still, the majority of my customer base is still me forming relationships at festivals, at gallery events, in my Facebook page. They subscribe to my email list simply because they can get a 20% discount on their first commission or purchase. But I like that because I have a drip that is just like kind of little blog post about personality and about my work. So I think that kind of fosters a relationship a little bit, but I'm not sure they're opening it. I mean, I can see that they're opening it, but I'm not sure that it's part of the relationship building. That's really what's happening in my out at art festivals. And they follow me because they've walked into my booth. So yeah, it's important for me to be able to keep track of them and figure out how to reach them should Facebook ever go away. But I'm not driving them to do it.
But you could make a little poster for your booth with like a pretty link, jenbelt.com/ let's chill. I don't know. And it's a link that goes to subscribe to your bot. Like, because you've got that, RJ. You've got, what is it? I have your card sitting here somewhere.
Check out my bot.
Yeah.
check out mybot.com, everybody, if you need to check out a bot. And I've got a challenge, a 5-day challenge on startyourbot.com. And that's what I encourage people to do. My guy who makes yard games, barnratgames.com, lead directly to the bot. That way you tell people as they go by, and it's easy to remember. But yeah, I want to throw something. Okay, now I've got your opinions. I want to throw something out at you. This is what I was thinking about this morning, and I kind of wanted to. It frustrates me when people come out with, let's go back in time solution. It frustrates me because going back in time for small businesses is probably not a great idea. We kind of need to be on the edge of everything happening, or at least I need to be, and so that I can tell my people about it.
Right.
And so instead of doing that, focusing on, and people use Facebook changes to say, well, we need to go back. You have to get people's information for yourself. I totally agree. For myself, I'm going to do it with an email list. I send out an email once every 3 months, whether I like it or not. I don't, it's not my preferred medium. I know Messenger's borrowed space. I know I'm focusing all of my efforts on Messenger right now because I think it's awesome, but I'm also looking to do this. Instead of get the email, get the contact information, and then contact, and hope that somebody answers back to you. Getting them into a bot, getting them used to me and my personality, and for whatever reason, maybe it's a conversation that started through a bot, maybe it's a personal reach out from me, getting those people to a face-to-face conversation. When the face-to-face happens, that's when you know whether you want that contact information. Right. Instead of just build people that you don't know, and I am guilty of this. You guys are just going to suck in your breath and be terribly disappointed in me, but I once
clutch the pearls,
babies. I once received the advice that what I needed to do was go into my LinkedIn account in order to promote this class I was doing. Go into your LinkedIn account, export all of the contacts, and put them on your email list. And I did it. I know.
You know what? Well, the whole thing, like when I hear you say that this man in this group was saying we need to drive people back to the website and drive people back to the email list to subscribe and sign up so that we can keep track of everything, I feel like what he's thinking but not saying is the next sentence will be is so that you can spam them later.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Like that's the only reason we ever did that in the past was so that we could spam them later with information that they really didn't ask for, but they signed up because they kind of thought they might like your content, maybe. But that's what I feel like it gives me the ickies when I hear somebody say, let's go and make sure you drive them and get that information and so that you can spam them later. Like that's just where I think it's going. Or that's where I think that thought process comes from. Maybe it doesn't, but that's where my brain goes.
Well, for me, making the contact information switch hands later. When I know this person's a good fit, making that change hands later. When I know that bringing this person closer into my circle is a great idea, I feel like that's a better ongoing, going forward into the future here, marching bravely forward like we are. That's just a better point at which to get the information. Hey, when you sign up to do a Zoom with me, which is how most people meet me face to face, it takes your email address. I mean, and you're probably already in my bot. So just taking the rented platforms, using them for all they're worth, because that is what we do on a daily basis. And then creating conversations on those that can be taken to a place where we're actually having a conversation, a real life one, so that we can both kind of determine what we need to, if we want to go forward or not. Man, that's just the basis of everything. I could have an email list. I could not have an email list. It still happens. Kim Boltzmann
Exactly.
is a person who teaches people how to email market without being spammy. If you would like to give us your feedback, Kim.
Well, I mean, I still use email marketing. I mean, I am not like, I send out maybe once a week right now, and my open rate's around 50%, and I'm happy with that. and I'm getting clicks and stuff, but yeah, I do want to, I'd like to make my bot do more of that.
Mm-hmm.
3:00 p.m. today.
You know, because I think you're right. I mean, but I mean, it's still important to drive traffic to your website. A lot of these businesses, I come across a lot of them that are like, their Facebook page is their everything. And I'm like, really?
That's
you know,
a tough place to be in right now.
Yeah. You know, and I'm like, no. Or like, I've had a couple people like they're running promotions or whatever on Facebook and Instagram. They're not reading the terms. And yeah, they're getting shut down and their ad accounts are getting shut. Yeah, I got, speaking of ad accounts being shut down, RJ. Yeah, I got a client he's getting pretty close to his being shut down because he's gotten several warnings. So,
Oh, no.
But I'm like, hey, you're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm not. I suppose if you're going to pay me to fix it, I don't know if I'll be able to fix it by that point. But
well, not when they've just made a decision on you. You know, that's.
Hey, I have to run. My the bus is here. I gotta go let Munchkins in
I
the
have
door.
to run too. I got a thing in 4 minutes. You guys, please come and be a guest on my show again. I love you, John. It's okay. You can drop off.
I will. Bye. Nice to meet you, Kim.
Bye, Jen.
Yeah. What a great conversation, Kim Boltzmann. You're invited anytime. You just hit a button and you can come on anytime.
Okay.
And your expertise is so valuable to be able to bounce stuff off of people who are sane and not trying to rile your emotions to get you to do something. I don't know about you.
Talking about me?
Or not you. Because here it is. I need that voice to listen to. I don't need all of the million people out there who are like, the sky is falling. Join my group. Everything will be all right. You know what? People are starting to see through that stuff, and I'm so grateful to be in your space because you teach people how to do it, how to market themselves genuinely. It's just been a great thing.
Thank you. And I just love what you're doing because, I mean, I totally support every piece of it and how you're doing it. And I know RJ in the background. If you guys don't know her personally, I mean, she's genuinely a great person, and she's really passionate about this. And I think the passion helps because you're not just in it for the money, you know, you want to help people and you love the challenge.
I do love a nice challenge, babies.
Bring it on.
Bring it on, babies. All right. Well, I am going to be back next Tuesday, 1:00 Central Standard Time. It's gonna be Black Belt Bots. We're talking about stuff. If you have questions about bots, if you want to start up with bots, no time like the present. Why don't you pop into my community? It's free. I will allow you in there, and you can meet other people who are working on the bots.
And it's great.
And it's great. And if you want my free mini course, do it. Check out mybot.com. And with that, we are signing off for today. Kim Boltzmann, please tell everybody really quickly where they can find you.
Oh, they can find me at acupofcontent.com or A Cup of Content on all of the various social media channels. Take your pick, which one you want.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Thank you so much, RJ.
Anytime. We will see you guys later.
Bye.